And welcome back, guys, to Leo Gaming. Yes, today is a review in 2021 of Dying Light, a classic zombie game, and this review is in preparation for Dying Light 2 Stay Human, to see whether or not it is worth playing, replaying, or buying the first one to sort of gain a gist of what the second one is going to be like. It is a great game. I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. I've spent quite a bit of time playing it now, so I'm absolutely having a fantastic time. So, guys, without further ado, let's jump straight into this review. Dying Light is a survival horror game developed by Techland and published by Warner Brothers and was released in January 2015. You are an undercover agent named Kyle Crane, and your mission is to infiltrate Haran City in order to recover an important document for the British Ministry. You will encounter a zombie-infested open world with an emphasis on the day-night cycle, so strap up, fight, parkour and bloody your way to deciding your fate between good and bad. Can you save Haran from total annihilation? Let's find out.
His brother Hassan died in a disease-related incident before...
So let's start off with the visual, guys. So you will be in a Middle Eastern city of Haran. Now you will be, it does look, it's sort of got that sort of run-down building site, post-apocalyptic feel to it. It's not completely post-apocalyptic, but you do have that sort of smashed, bombed out building look, building sites everywhere, fires burning, burnt out cars everywhere. And that's what the sort of environment you're going to see a lot. You'll sort of be running around in slums, posh districts, skyscrapers, built up areas, little open grass areas, bridges, coastal areas and stuff like that. There's good variation in the environment. You could definitely tell the graphics are dated. Not completely. You could tell it's a 2015 game. It's not completely dated. It still looks pretty good, but it's definitely tell it's from 2015. You do have the option to have film grain and motion blur, which I always remove. I can't stand them both. To me, it just messes up the screen and the look of the game. I always remove them. If you like to keep them, you keep them. That is completely down to you. Couple of good things. When the sun is setting and it raising, it looks absolutely stunning. When you get that the lighting affects everything around you, especially when the sun is setting. You're out and about, you can tell it's sort of early evening, late afternoon, and that's how good I think they've done the day-night cycle in this game. It really does look and feel like it's that time of the day that you would expect it to be. So yeah, I think that is absolutely fantastic. The zombies are very well detailed, although you never really get a chance to see them up close unless, well, basically because you're always running fast and parkouring everywhere. The only time you get to see them up close in detail is if you're standing on one side of a fence and you let them come close to you, then you could give them a good examination. Apart from that, the game, I think, does look really, really good, especially for a 2015 game. Now, moving on to the sound, guys, I will admit that this game, I think, has a great atmospheric sound, especially when you're standing outside. If you climb to the top of a building and you just stand there, you get this really sort of eerie wind. It has it's like an eerie wind sound when you're outside. It really sets the sort of, it suits the environment that it's within, and you've got like a little bit of backing music to it. You can't really hear, but it's there. And then you also get the sort of sounds of the zombies, and then when it's approaching nighttime, you get the screams of the volatiles in the distance, signalling that nighttime is approaching and to get your damn self to a safe zone. But I just find the atmosphere, especially combining that with the sun setting and the screams of the volatiles in the distance, signaling and the eerie wind sound, that to me is so effective. It just really gives you that feeling that it is approaching nighttime. Get yourself out of there. It's about to get dangerous, sort of thing. You do have some sort of backing music which suits well within the game. You don't hear it, but you do hear it, if that sort of makes sense. You notice it, but you don't. I know that sort of might not make sense to some people, but it does to me. It's it combines well with the rest. You wouldn't notice it if the other sound was crap. Basically, you notice it because it combines well with the other atmospheric sounds and the sounds of the zombies that I've already mentioned. One thing I will point out is one bit of sound that I do like that I've used in my intro video is that noise when you pause, when you get on the loading screen, and it sometimes plays through the game every now and then. That sort of noise. I try to do it, but for some reason that to me really sets the tone of the game. It just really gives you a sort of, and it's that sort of Middle Eastern sound which really suits the sort of environment. The fact that it's in a Middle Eastern city, it gives you that sort of really great, you know, when I've been to Turkey once, where you get that when they're about to do prayer and you get that someone blurts out, but you know, really loudly across the town or city, they do that that sort of noise. It reminds me of that, and it really has that impactful. It gives the environment that great impact, and especially with the zombie, it seems to suit the zombie theme quite well. That sort of dread, like, and to me, it also compares to, if you watch sort of supernatural horror films like possession films, like Exorcist and all that sort of demonology, normally comes from Middle Eastern countries, like demons and stuff like that, demonic myths and things like that, and they always have that Middle Eastern sort of feel to it, and that's why I think it suits the zombies, that sort of demon feel to it. I think that's my personal opinion, but that's what runs through my head when I hear it. So guys, that is the sound. Nothing out of the ordinary. There's nothing bad I've noticed about it. So we are going to move on to the mechanics.
Rai said you'd be coming by. I'm Karim.
So with the mechanics, you have campaign mode and online campaign mode. Online campaign mode is where you're playing the campaign, but you're doing it online, and you will get other players that will join your game that you will see and interact with running around the map. And you also get some live challenges throughout the campaign itself. Now, you can only run and parkour away around the environment, so don't expect to sort of be driving or flying buggies and things like that. You can only really run and parkour, which is mainly what the game is about, in a first-person view. Loot, you get a lot of loot. Loot can be hidden anywhere, i.e. toolboxes, laundry baskets, shelves, cupboards, car boots, the back of vans, anywhere that you can find. You can use your sense, like sort of sixth sense, where you sort of scan the environment and it will pinpoint all the different loot areas or different items of interest within your sort of immediate environment. You do get various items from the loot, like valuables, materials for crafting. That's pretty much it. It's a strange one with loot, because loot is always the same. And you can loot cash, which you can use to buy weapons or upgrades at the trade stalls. But loot is always a strange one. It always feels like I've sort of run out of ways how to describe loot in games, because it's always the same process. Valuables you can sort of sell at the trade stalls, and materials you can use for crafting. You can sell the materials too, but you will mainly use them for crafting. You do get a skill tree. In fact, you get 5 skill trees. You get 5 categories: survivor, agility, power, driver, and legend. Now, you gain these skill points for basically playing the game. These skill points is things like sort of completing challenges and just playing the game. For example, the more you sprint, the more distance you're sprinting, you will gain an agility point. The more you hit people, zombies around the head, you will gain power points. Things like that. It's just literally playing the game. I do prefer this method. This is similar to Far Cry 5. This is a much better method, I think, of gaining skill points. It's more organic rather than having to do specific things. You can still choose to do these sort of challenges, but you can unlock these skill points just by playing the game as normal. Now, you do get main missions and side missions as standard. Obviously, side missions are obviously smaller than the main missions, but you get the main story missions, which are sort of the big sort of missions that progress the story, which is standard, the same with any game. That's similar to loot. It's very hard to sort of think up different ways to describe missions. The big feature on this game is the day-night cycle. The volatiles come out at night, where they are a lot more agile, faster and dangerous than the sort of standard zombies. You can also, using the loot, you can craft various weapons using pretty much most items, including the baseball bats, pipes, crowbars, cricket bats, etc. And you can upgrade these weapons, things like extra damage or better handling. You can also unlock safe zones by turning on the power and clearing the zombies out. Now, these safe zones are very critical to the game to unlock, especially when nighttime approaches. If you're somewhere in the map, you want to have a safe zone close by so you can get to it quickly when nighttime is approaching. So in terms of gameplay, guys, I would say, I'll be honest, I've attempted to play this game about 5 times, purely because I'm not a fan of the first person. I'm not a great lover of first person games, and the parkour is actually quite hard to get used to. I did quit this game about 4 times before I've sort of really settled into it on the 5th time. It's a bit of a learning curve, but you do get used to it. I do find it annoying when you're trying to move quickly, especially in the dark, and you just end up bumping into stuff, getting trapped in the corner with about 5 zombies trying to attack you. The combat is actually pretty good. Don't expect to be using guns galore, because the guns you do get, you barely get any ammo, and it is very difficult to sort of well, it's not difficult. The actual combat itself, swinging the bats, is quite good. You do get a stamina bar, so don't go swinging around, because you will lose stamina, so the damage is the hits are less effective. But the actual general moving and gameplay is actually pretty good. I've got nothing else to complain about it, really. So yeah, so that is the end of my review for So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and if you do like my content and you do like my videos, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons and click that notification bell to stay bang up to date when I release my next video, which will be a top 10 list of my favourite games within my collection. So that will be very, very exciting. Also, don't forget to check out my previous video, a review on Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will take my adieu, and I will wish you farewell, goodbye, good luck, love you all, bye.